Hello everyone, good evening, welcome back at ECCMID Live TV. Still broadcasting from Cologne in Germany here, and it is 6 o'clock in the evening, and we are almost coming to the end of the first day of ECCMID 2021. And I have another live guest who is live here in the studio with me, and this is Dr. Paul Higgins, who is a local ESCMID member, meaning he is working here at the University of Cologne, the University Hospital of Cologne, I should say, at the Department of Medical Microbiology. So a warm welcome to you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. It's always great to have some real personal live contacts in this full online meeting that we're having. You are a member of the ESCGEM, the ESCMID study group for epidemiological markers.
I am.
But I think your interests, or your specialty field interests, reach even broader than just the epidemiological markers. And I would just really like to pick your brain about what you find very interesting in this year's ECCMID. And I believe you've already selected some sessions for yourself in which you're really looking forward to. So I would just love to hear from you. Well, what really makes you tick this year?
Thank you for inviting me and to have this opportunity to talk with you. So this ECCMID is a very good program, I have to say, and I think a big advantage of the online sessions are that, for example, right now there's a session on efflux that I'd love to be watching, but it's being recorded, so I can watch it either tonight or tomorrow. So all the sessions that I can't make, you can watch them at a later date. So it's a very good.
The great upside of this.
One of the few upsides, I would say, of an online one. Yeah. No, but my main interests revolve around genome sequencing and the use of it. We use it all the time now in the laboratory. In the past, we did a lot of PCR and finding different genes for various purposes, typing or for resistance. But now we can do whole genome sequencing, and we do a lot of typing, and also we use it for resistance studies, antibiotic resistance studies.
And do you use the whole genome sequencing or the next generation sequencing?
We do. We use short reads. We use MiSeq, and now we're using long reads with the MinION. So we combine both of these in the lab.
So it's something that you are pretty progressive in already yourself with your research group.
We try.
Yeah.
We're following in other people's footsteps, really.
Yeah. So what are you hoping to learn here about the studies that have been done with the sequencing?
I think that there has been a lot of work done previously with the chemistry behind it, and so now we're looking at the application of it. So I'm not a bioinformatician, so things have got to be presented to me in a very easy way. So the bioinformatics side of it, I think, will become much easier. We're looking at the applications of it, how we can adapt it for the clinic. There was a good session this morning from ESCGEM with Sandra Reuter. She was one of the speakers talking about this, the different ways how we can go about adapting this within the clinical microbiology laboratory for genotyping and producing reports and this whole scenario around it.
Yeah. Are you expecting some practice-changing research this ECCMID?
I usually expect to find one or two things. The work people are presenting, we can be quite aware of what people have done up till now. So there's often not very many surprises, but the surprises usually come when you go into a field that you're maybe not so involved in. Yeah. So there are some One Health talks on Sunday and Monday that I'm very much looking forward to. I think the One Health approach is, I think, should be made more, should come into the fore. I think it's very important. And do you know what the One Health is?
Could you explain it a little bit more?
So the One Health is, in the past, we've worked in isolation. So we work with people in the hospital, and that's it. And this is where it ends. And people that, like vets, are working with animals, and they work separately. Yes. And then you have people that work in the environment, and they work separately. Yeah. And the One Health is more or less pulling these people together because they're all doing the same things on the same organisms, looking for the same things, but in isolations. Yeah. But what happens in an animal can also happen in us, and it goes into the environment and then it comes back in again. Yeah. So it's tying it all together.
No man is an island.
Precisely. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think this has been a big change. There's at least 3 sessions with One Health in this ECCMID, so
Yeah.
this will be very
Do you
good to
think
look at.
you'll be seeing different results from One Health studies than if you would be looking at one of the specialties
Yeah,
separately?
yeah. So I sometimes work with vets, and what's interesting working with some vets, again, is that they're doing exactly what we're doing. They're finding exactly what we're finding,
Yeah.
but they publish in veterinary journals. We publish in human journals. So
Yeah.
it's very nice just to hear what they're doing, and maybe to make connections with them, and also just to see what's going on out there, because it's another environment that we're not really tapping into.
Yeah, it's even a little bit ironic that within this One Health concept, you're actually finding the connection whilst we're doing an online meeting in which many of us feel that the connection is a little bit lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great to hear that there are ways to get that back. Your own research group, could you describe a little bit the focus of your group?
So
You'll be presenting here as
Yeah.
well during the ECCMID.
We are interested in mainly escape organisms, but we also dabble in other things like Neisseria gonorrhea. We're interested in the transmission of them through people. So we look for outbreaks within hospitals, but we also do larger surveys with some organisms. So like nationwide, we're looking at vancomycin resistant enterococci within Germany. We look at the global epidemiology of Acinetobacter baumannii. But also we look within the hospital for the spread of bacteria from patient to patient. We're trying to be less species-centric now. In the past, we would look within an organism, a species, and see what's going on with that. But we have a poster on plasmid transmission, and so these plasmids are moving through species within people. So you can have a single person with 2 different species with the same plasmid, and this plasmid is now in other species in another patient, and then it's moved to another species in other patients. So we're now interested in these types of transmissions as well.
Yeah.
We're interested in efflux. Like I say, today there's at least 1 efflux session that I'm missing. We have a poster on that. So we're all interested in efflux.
Yeah.
And we use whole genome sequencing all the time to garner lots of the genetic background of what's causing efflux.
Yeah. And are you finding yourself among other researchers that are doing similar work as your research group is doing?
Yeah.
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 So that should feel supportive, right?
Yeah, we often gravitate towards people that are doing similar things, and we share tips. This is what I say. This is what's missing from an online one, is that we do not have this bumping into people in the discussions, but we can still find them online, and we can always chat.
Exactly, and reach out through
Zoom and Zoom meetings.
Yeah, but the real interactivity that you have during a
Yeah.
real poster session, yeah, that's a shame. Well, hopefully in the future, but that will be back again. We were just talking about the practice changing, maybe expectations or hopes. You were talking about the One Health. Is that something that you could see yourself implementing in your own practice?
I am
or is
reaching,
that a bridge too far?
No, I'm reaching out. I do work with one of my main organisms is Acinetobacter baumannii, and I work with people that look for it in animals. So I work with some vets that look for it in small companion animals, but also in livestock. I work with someone else that is interested in Acinetobacter in the wider environment, particularly in migratory birds, but also in soil and invertebrates. And also there's another group I work with sometimes, and they're looking for Acinetobacter in wastewater. So I'm already dabbling in these areas. It's not a big focus of my work.
Well, you're getting me enthusiastic too. It sounds fascinating that there's this whole industry around medicine that is doing the same. It is very fascinating. You got me on board already.
And so when we work with these people, we often have big discussions about where we're going to try and publish, because they have their focus and I have my focus. And we have these completely different areas that we work in. So we're trying to bring it all together.
Yeah. So now we need One Health journals as well.
But I think so, maybe that'd be an idea.
Well, future dreams.
Yeah.
Future dreams. Are there any other topics that you're also very interested in? Like, for example, you are a member of the SGEM. Are there studies on epidemiological markers that you know about that are coming up?
I'm not sure of any. I mean, there are quite a few sessions related to this in this ESCMID, ECCMID. Sorry. There was, I lost it now. I had it in my head there. There was another session on there was one on plasmids. I think would be very interesting. There was one this morning on it. This afternoon. Sorry, this afternoon. When I was coming here, it was on. That would be very interesting, but it's recorded. I can watch it again.
Absolutely.
And I think resistance prediction. There's a couple of these sessions, I think tomorrow or on Sunday, on resistance prediction. I think this is a very big topic. It's still something, as was said this morning, there's low-hanging fruit, and there are some really easy ones for resistance prediction, but there are lots of examples that we have got where resistance prediction is very, very difficult. And I think this will be one of the difficulties for people to overcome. It's certainly not me. This is for.
And for my information, if you're doing the prediction, is in what phase do you do the prediction? When the patient has an infection already, or are you even predicting before that
right
which
now,
organisms are most likely to spread? And
right now, it takes too long, I would say. By the time you've cultured an organism and you've sequenced it and done the analysis, you could have just stuck it on a plate and tested it, then you would know what the phenotype is, so then you can determine it. There are quicker methods. With the MinION, you can detect things much more rapidly. And so this could well be a game changer. And there are some things that are good markers that are easy. Some resistance genes, particularly for the carbapenems, which are fairly straightforward. So you find it, you can predict that an organism is resistant. But there are organisms like Pseudomonas. It's a little bit more difficult, although I think that there is a talk on it in the next few days on resistance prediction, and particularly with Pseudomonas. So I'm hoping that maybe they've got a way around that, because it's several different factors that are involved. It's not a single resistance gene that they've picked up. It's mutations in efflux and their AMP-C and porins. So you have to know what to look for and what mutations are important and which ones are not. And I think this will be...
So you're using biomarkers to make a prediction model.
Yeah, essentially.
Would you also see like a role for machine learning or AI?
I think this is where it's going to come from. This is where it will come from. And so I'm quite interested in seeing these sessions that are coming up on prediction.
Well, I think a lot of the viewers will have the same interest as you. Will share that view with you. Are there any other things you think or feel that are mentioned are worthy mentioning at this time?
I did have a list.
Things you would like to share?
Things I'd like to share on what I would like to...
On what you would like to see during this ECCMID or of your own study group?
I think I've covered most of it. You know, it's the whole genome sequencing and the implementation in the clinic, the resistance prediction from it, there is, I don't think there's any is there a session on the analysis? I can't remember if there's a session on the analysis. I think that maybe there's something touching upon it, and this might be interesting as well. Like I say, there's one or two software packages out there for people like myself that can work with. They're not perfect. See what else there is out there.
Great. So you're looking forward to another great couple of 3 days.
Yeah.
Couple of 3 days. 3 more days.
3 more days.
Great. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time and taking this opportunity to share some of your interests with our viewers, because, well, you made me enthusiastic about the One Health, so probably some other people who are watching this as well. I would also like to thank our viewers for now for watching this. We will be back in 1 hour, and then we will be talking with 3 of the artists who have, well, actually ESCMID members, participants of this ECCMID Congress, who have submitted some of their artwork to our art gallery, and we will be showing that and discussing that. So it would be very interesting for you to tune in and hear all about the background of their artwork. So I hope to see you then, and thanks again to Dr. Paul Higgins.
Thank you.
And see you at 7.